My name's Preston Radtke, Preston Radtke. I'm a junior public relations major with a creative writing minor. I'm originally from San Francisco, California. I moved to Chicago, Illinois when I was 8, and that's where I currently live now. I originally came to Ball State as a journalism TCOM major. And then after my first semester, I realized that it wasn't necessarily for me, so then I switched to public relations because I felt it was very similar to journalism in the sense that there's lots of writing, but I just preferred the concentration. And I didn't transfer from here just because I liked our program and I was very comfortable here. First time at Ball State, it was understandably kind of a challenge. What happened was my parents, I moved in about a day before all the other freshmen for orientation. My parents stayed in a hotel in the village. And I knew where all my classes were in terms of like the room numbers and which buildings they were in. But for that day that we moved in early, my parents and I just walked the campus to all the rooms they needed to get to and all the buildings that I would need to get to. So we knew where my math class was, so we'd practice going from La Follette to wherever the math classroom was. I don't remember where it was actually. It was probably in Robert Bell. And then to other facilities on campus that I'd go to, like the atrium or the student center or the rec center. And then, obviously in the beginning it was an adjustment. But it just comes with time knowing where things are because I live here, so you have to get used to it. My daily routine is kind of like everyone else. Depending on the day, I'll usually get up at around 7 if I end up going running in the morning, which happens maybe 3-4 days a week. If not, I usually get up at 8. I usually take a shower. It usually takes me about 10-15 minutes. Go to class, get lunch, go to some more classes. Then I have meetings about Monday through Friday or Monday through Thursday each night. So I'm either in meetings or at work. So it's just like the normal daily routine of any other college student.
My name is Carlos Taylor. I am the Adaptive Computer Technology Specialist for Ball State University. And basically what that means is that I oversee technology for students and faculty members with disabilities. I met Preston when he first came to Ball State as a freshman, and worked with him to make sure that he had his textbooks in an accessible format so that he could read them. Preston's always been very impressive in that we see a lot of students who come to Ball State who are blind and at various stages and different skill levels. So Preston, he works well with computers, great with people, and his outgoing personality has been really impressive. He's been involved in different things since he's been here at Ball State. He's been able to kind of gain traction and really gain some I think just confidence and maturity as he's been here from all the activities and organizations that he participates in. So it's been really neat for me to observe, and even walking around campus, Preston knows a lot of people, and people are always coming up to him and saying hello and inviting him to go do things. So that's I think that's a lot to say to his outgoing personality.
I use a Braille laptop, and I use that for taking notes. And then so if I have to study for an exam, I obviously just read the notes off of that. And then my study habits are just kind of like you and me and everyone else. I just study a lot for when I have an exam coming up, or study some if I think I need to freshen up on what we're learning. Sometimes it takes me a little bit longer to study just because it's slower for someone to read Braille than it is for someone to read print.
My name is Amanda. I am one of Preston's coworkers here in the Adaptive Technology Lab. I met Preston when he came to Ball State when he was a freshman. I think one of Preston's biggest strong points is his sense of humor. He's always coming in here. He always has a joke, always has something witty to say. And I think that there's something very endearing about that. And I think that Preston is one of those people who can always cheer you up. Even when you're not in a good mood, you've had a bad day, nothing is just going right. Preston is always there to cheer you up and kind of brighten up your day.
Preston also has a lot of courage to try things, so, there's always new experiences, and, having a disability or not, sometimes new things are, scary for people, but Preston's always had a can-do attitude. He's willing to try and, put himself out there, which is, a risk for anybody to take, but he's been able to take those risks, and, I think it'll really help him in the future as different opportunities come his way, for him to have that experience, the successes, the failures, and everything, as opposed to being afraid to step out, because being afraid of failure, everyone's afraid of failure, but you'll never get anywhere if you don't take that risk. And Preston's been one to take some of those risks.
When I meet someone for the first time, just like with anyone else, there's that kind of inherent awkwardness because it's like everyone else. You're a little shy, understandably. I'm usually, relatively shy. I mean, the thing that I think kind of gets in the way of having a normal conversation with someone is that they immediately think of the disability once they see the cane or the dog. So they think they have to be like overly nice, or they have to they feel like they can't talk to me like a normal person because they feel like obligated, they have to be polite, or they have to speak a certain way just because I can't see. But once you get to know that person, once they get to know me more, they feel more comfortable, they feel like they can joke around or, talk about normal things. I'd say the thing that really keeps me going is maybe I want to do well to make the people in my past happy, because I've been fortunate to have a lot of very helpful people and lots of figures in my life who have helped me and made me the person that I am today. And I just think it's, in a sort of way, it's like a way to kind of repay them. Like, all their work with me is paying off that I'm being successful, because they invest a lot of their time, that's like coaches, parents, teachers. So just kind of being motivated through them investing their time to try and help me, that's what kind of keeps me going. I participated in cross country and track for a few years in high school. And then for one season, or for a few months, I did powerlifting, which was an experience. And then for 4 years, or more like 5 years, 4 years in high school, 1 junior high, I played a sport called goalball. It's Goalball. It's a sport that's specifically designed for the blind and visually impaired. And it's a sport that's played on like the size of a volleyball-sized court. And there's a ball that weighs about 3 pounds with bells inside of it. And the point is you have to roll the ball as hard as you can past the other players on the other side of the court, because there's 3 players on each side of the court. And they're set up in like a triangular formation. So you have a guy up here, you have a guy here, and a guy here. And players know where they are in the court because there's like taped down string. Because all the players have to wear blacked out eye goggles because there's different levels of blindness. Like my acuity is 2800, someone else's could be like 2500. So even if someone's legally blind, they could actually still see. And then, like I said, the idea is you have to block the ball with your body. And I played that for about 4 years, and teams that I played on, had a lot of success. And the main thing that I thought was great about that sport is it taught me independence and great motor skills, because like I said, I was fortunate enough to be selected to a junior national team, so there were a lot of like international tournaments and a lot of training camps I had to fly to independently, so that taught me to be more confident. Maybe to inspire others, like some advice I could give to maybe, inspire others or teach them something. It's maybe to never get too high or too low with life, because with life it's a series of good and bad. You don't want to get too high on something, and then when something like slightly bad happens, you get too low. I'm usually a very positive person, but I try to not get too excited about anything, because there are more obstacles that I face, but if you approach it with a positive attitude, then that usually works out. Just some general things about my disability that I think people should know about is it's just a visual disability. That's it. So it's like, just because I can't see, that doesn't get in the way of like my social life or how I think, or because I'm just like a college student like you and me. I have like a social life, I have friends, I have concerns. I think sometimes when you see the cane or the guide dog, people think that you're so different, but really just the same.